Alright, Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah, double honor to Apostle GMS. This is Anwar Allah coming back to the video. In this video, I want to focus on the book of 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, and the 16th verse. Going into how we are the temple of the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Okay? So, because there's really no need for a physical temple to be built, because we're the spiritual temple of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, and the spirit of the Most High and the Son dwells within us. So let's get right to it. This is 1 Corinthians 3rd chapter and the 16th verse. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High? So the Apostle Paul is saying, don't you know you the temple of the Most High? And that the Spirit of the Most High dwells in you? And don't you know that the Spirit of the Most High dwells within you? Don't you know these things? So these are things that they ought to know. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. Well, let's see what that means, defile. My phone be acting up. See that? I just did that for no reason. So hopefully I can get through this video. I just had to do it over.
Strong's G 5351. Thyro. Thyro.
Let's get this word, that word there. To corrupt, to destroy. In the opinion of the Jews, the temple was corrupted or destroyed when anyone defiled or in the slightest degree damaged anything in it, or if its guardians neglected their duties. To lead away a Christian church from that state of knowledge and holiness in which it ought to be destroyed, to perish in an ethical sense, to corrupt, depraved. So, if you're defiling that temple, you're being led in a state. You're being led from a state of knowledge and holiness, which you ought to be. So that's an example of being. That's an example of the church being defiled. When you're being led from a state of knowledge and holiness, which you ought to be. In other words, when you're conducting yourself in a manner which that's not righteous according to the scriptures. Guess what? Homosexuality, you defile the temple. Worshiping another God, you defile the temple. Not in keeping the Sabbath, you defile the temple. Having divisions among you, you defile the temple. And that's the reason why the Apostle Paul brought this out. Because when you go back, he didn't just say that out of nowhere, oh, don't you know this? And then just jump to something entirely different. Because when you read up in the chapter, 1 Corinthians 3:1, and I, brethren, cannot speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Yahweh Shah. I have fed you with milk and not with meat. So he couldn't speak to them as spiritual, but unto carnal, even as babes. In other words, they were young in the spirit, so he didn't have much spiritual understanding, much experience. So he couldn't speak to them on a deep level of spiritual things. He had to speak to them, basics. I have fed you with milk, which you can read about that in the book of Hebrews, 5th chapter. It speaks about milk being for those who are unskillful in the word of the Most High, and meat are for those who are more mature, like a baby. A baby doesn't have any teeth, so the baby drinks milk. But when that baby matures and they grow teeth, they can eventually chew meat. So the milk represents the basics or lower basics and the things easier understood in the scriptures, and the meat represents things that's more difficult, things that takes more experience to learn, to understand. I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are you able. For ye are yet carnal. They're still not able, for ye are yet carnal. For whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are you not carnal and walk as men? See? There was divisions among them. For one saith, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollos. Are you not carnal? So some of them say, oh, I learned from the Apostle Paul. Some say, oh, I learned from Apollos. They being carnal, you're not spiritual. Who then is Paul and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom he believed, even as the Lord gave to every man? So Apostle Paul and Apollos, they're just ministers that the Most High gave to every man to teach. So why are you saying, oh, I'm from Apollo, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos? There's divisions among them. Oh, I learned from this guy. Oh, I learned from that guy. Like that means something. Well, guess what? They're both ministers that the Most High set up to teach. I had planted Apollos water, but the Most High gave the increase. Yeah, so I planted, Paul speaking of himself, and Apollos water, but the Most High gave the increase. So yeah, we taught y'all, but ultimately it was the Most High that increased the knowledge. So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watered, but the Most High that giveth the increase. So I planted, Apollos watered, but it don't matter who planted or who watered. We ain't nothing, we ain't nobody. the Most High gave the increase. So he's saying it's ultimately due to Yahweh Shem Shah. So what the Apostle Paul is saying when you read down, I'm just going to jump down. See this phone going bugging out. So I could read more verses into that after that, but I'm not. So when you go to verse 16 and 17, and the Apostle Paul starts talking about being at the temple of the Most High, and the Spirit of the Most High dwelling in you, and defiling the temple. So when he's talking about that, he's really talking about the divisions in the church. That's why the Apostle Paul said, you are the temple of the Most High. Don't you notice? Why is there divisions among you? You should notice already. Okay? Ephesians 2 and 21. In whom all the building fitly free. I'll start from 20. And I built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together grows unto an holy temple in the Lord. It's fitted perfectly through a wise builder. Like if you get somebody that's building something with stones, it gotta be somebody that got experience. It gotta be somebody that knows what they're doing to make sure everything is aligned perfectly. In whom you also are built together for an habitation of the Most High through the Spirit. So guess what he's saying? We all built as a habitation of the Most High through the Spirit. So guess what? We're built, fitted perfectly together to be a habitation for the Spirit of Yahweh Shema. Matter of fact, we gotta work fitly. Fitly framed together.
Strong's G 4883. Sunar Malageo.
Sunar Malageo. Let's go to the word. Biblical usage. To join closely together, to frame together parts of the building, the members of the body. You go to view entry. It says to fit or frame together. Sun harmos with a joint in building, see? And Lego to choose. Is used metaphorically to various parts of the church as a building, fitly framed together. Also, the members of the church as the body of Yahweh Shah. So we're fitly framed together. Okay? So we're fit perfectly. It's good to speak about eyes, ears. We're like one body that's joined together. And we're like a church, a building that's joined together. Not necessarily a physical building, but joined together in spirit, as if we're stones laid beside one another. Okay? That's how it is that we're fit together. Okay, this is Hebrews 3 and 1. Wherefore, holy brother and partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Yahweh Shah, who is faithful to him that appointed him, Most High, as also Moses was faithful in all his house. For this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses. So Yahweh Shah is worthy of more glory than Moses. And as much as he who had built the house had more honor than the house, because the person that built the house got more honor than the house. I remember years ago when we was on 42nd Street, the apostles was teaching. Some guy came up and said, "Yeah, but the apostle Paul was talking about Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah was being spoken of by Apostle Hall, and the guy said, yeah, but you always got to remember Moses. You always got to remember Moses." And this scripture always stuck in my head since that day. And this is probably like 17 years ago, 18, 16 years ago, something like that. So it says, for this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses, and as much as he who had builded the house had more glory than the house. For every house is built by some man, but he that built all things is the Most High. So the Most High is a wise master builder that built all things. So everything that the Most High created, it was created to serve his purpose. So we're fitted together like a building, serve the purpose of the Most High Spirit to dwell within us. Therefore, there's not to be divisions among us, and there's nothing that's supposed to lead us away from doing that which is righteous in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shah, which is the things that's according to the scriptures. Okay? So that's what we are. We're the Most High's building, fit, framed together. So with that, I'm going to close and say, oh, praise the Yahweh Shema Shah. Double line to the apostle GMS. I hope you both learned something. Shalom.